Page 47, the Minstrel Song. Well, I'll go through the process to learn a piece of music. Let's see what we get. I look it over. It's a page long. Treble and bass clef. One flat in the key signature, so we're either in the key of F major or D minor. You already know it's D minor because that's what we're studying, but nevertheless, I'll just go through it. Look at the end, the last few measures. You're here. D minor chord. We'll figure it's in D minor. Another clue is the seventh step. When you see that raised up, that's a clue. Like the seventh step in D minor is a C, and we're seeing C sharps everywhere. That's another clue. We're in D minor. We're in a minor mode here. Guess that, yeah. And 3/4 time signature. I see quarter notes, a little bit of dotted rhythm in there. That's all right. Right hand first. Let's make sure we know what each hand is doing. Right hand starts here. We're not going to stay here. And the hand position is here. The hand position is according to the key signature. And I adjust the fingers as I need to for any accidentals. So when the C sharp comes in, I'll adjust for that. The only black key in the hand position right now is the B flat. So it's here, and then I come out here. Crossover, 1 and 2, and I trust you know dotted rhythms by now. I don't have to explain all that again. And the measure 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Big deal. Okay. Now, a measure 12, you have a 1 beat rest to come back up. Second, the ending measure 12 here. And so you're in position to go on. And then they want you to cross over. This is measures 14 and 15 and 16. Measure 14 is here. And then they want you to cross over. And then thumb. That's okay. You can do that. But I just don't like crossing over the thumb when I don't have to. And I don't have to here. I just adjust the fingering a little bit. So at measure 13, you're here. And then measure 14, instead of 2, I'm just reach down a little bit and use 3. And then 2, 1. See, that's a D minor chord, and instead of fingering it this way, I'd fingered it this way. But I got the whole thing without crossing over the thumb. So again, measure 13, 3, 2, 1. Okay. At the end, the last 4 measures, that D, you notice it's tied. Each D is tied. So you're going to play the first D and hold it down for the rest of the piece. Left hand, we'll start with the second line when you're here. That quarter note is the 3rd beat of the last measure of the first line, because that only has, they split the measure. They can do that. The first line is the introduction. Because it double bars, it tells you you're leaving one section and going into a new. Well, the first line is the introduction, and an introduction is a section. But here on the second line is 3, 1, 3, 1, just a broken chord. Then the 4 chord. Again, if you don't want to be up here, you just do that. So much for the left hand. Put them together, starting with the second line. Well, let's go to the end of the first line. You're here. And then the second line, just reach out in the left hand and you can collapse. Just make sure you lift up for the rests. So I go through and I put the hands together. Then I go back through any trouble spots and work them out. And I go through the whole thing a few hundred times or whatever, smooth out any hesitation so it's a steady beat. Speed isn't important right now. You can go as slow as you got to go, but no hesitations. And then I think about the articulation, which here is just the phrasing. You're going to lift up between the phrases. So at the first line, you're here. Before I go to the second line here, I'm going to lift up. Just a little bit of silence. It's like taking a breath. It's like taking a breath. I mean, you have to lift up. It's a repeated note. But this is a little longer lift. Then the third line, you have to lift up, but there's a quarter rest. So the phrase is built in for you. So I'm lifting up for the phrases. Then the dynamics, MF at the beginning, mezzo forte is sort of loud, whatever you think that is. Not loud, just sort of loud. And then the second line, your MP in mezzo piano, and that's the melody. See that left hand note? See the dice line going? That's their way of telling you the melody is going to the different staff. Some publishers will do that. Some publishers don't give you a line, you got to figure it out. But that's melody. And that's moderately soft. This, that's very soft. So I'm going to go moderately soft, very soft. I want it to sound like one hand played that. There, this is two. And then at the end of the third line, pick up to measure 13, you go back up to moderately loud. The left hand just stays in the background. And then soft, sort of soft in the right hand. And at the end you get a dim E writ with the piano in the left. I think that piano in the end should be pianissimo, 2 P's. You're already moderately soft, and you're just going to gradually die away. With the right hand, that D is going to die away on its own. So just listen to that and keep the left hand under it. So it's slow down. So when I play the last D in the left hand, I can still hear that. I don't drown it out. And you just slow down. Speed, moderato's just in the middle. That's the melody. How fast? I'm sure there's words to this. They're not in this book, but they're however fast you would sing it, because you think 1, 2, 3, 1. That's a bit fast for moderato, not much, but nevertheless the feel of it is. Those last notes and the last 2 measures here are going to sound like they last longer than 5 counts. That's because you're slowed down. You're counting slower. Now they've suggested pedal in a couple of places. I strongly disagree with it. I would not use pedal on this. The idea with pedal is, what's it do? Why are we using it? As near as I can tell, they're using it to color the longer held notes. And that's one of the reasons we use pedal. Because when you play a note on a piano, it just sits there and dies away. But if you can add the overtones, it gives a little bit of interest. Gives it just, it's good, yeah. That's what we do on piano. We just color the longer held notes. And as near as I can tell, that's all they're doing. The problem I have with that is, one is we have a broken chord in the left hand. We already have interest. It's not like you're just playing a note and holding them and going away. The left hand's doing something, so you don't need it to color the longer held note here. And at the end, you got the left hand doing its thing, and I'm dying away and slowing down. I don't want to be adding overtones when I'm trying to die away and slow down. So I disagree with pedal here. I would not, if I were your teacher, I would cross out those pedal markings and not use it at all. Let's play this together slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do the dynamics, the louds and softs. We're just playing it. I can't slow down at the end because the metronome won't slow down. So I'll give us 3 counts. You should play the same note I'm playing when I play it. And that's all we're doing is checking notes and rhythms here. 1, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 1, 2. 2. 1, 2. 2. list.